In this video, I'm gonna share my post-processing workflow. Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto and I'm a photographer. And in this video, I'm gonna share my post-processing workflow with you guys. I have covered this topic in the past, but my workflow has changed a little bit since I made the previous video, and I also get all the time I get requests to share my workflow, so here goes. This is my refreshed workflow. And I'm sorry about the mess that you see in the background. We are moving in just a few weeks and we already started cleaning and recycling and packing and all that. So wherever I point my camera here, it looks like a mess. So I'm sorry for that. First of all, I always shoot RAW because I love the flexibility that RAW gives me, and post-processing is part of my workflow. It has always been since the beginning in the 1970s when I started photography. It was the traditional wet darkroom, and then I moved to digital photography back in 1999, and since then my post-processing has been in the digital darkroom. But of course in the early 2000s the RAW developers or the tools were pretty cumbersome and rudimentary compared to what we have today. But anyway, I shoot RAW because I just like the format, and my workflow begins when I remove the card and import the pictures to Lightroom, which is my, where's the card reader here, which is my favorite RAW developer. I like Lightroom because I've used it since the beginning, since the start when the first beta came, and I just know how it works and it gives me the results I want. I sometimes read opinions that Lightroom is the worst of all RAW developers, but it gives me the results I want with not much effort from my part, so I like it, and that's it. So my workflow starts when I import my pictures into Lightroom, and my Lightroom library and pictures, they are on this Samsung T7 Shield 2TB SSD drive. In my main Lightroom library, my pictures are in folders in chronological order by the date. It's always been like that, and I like it like that. I want to be able to find my pictures in chronological order by the date. First, I add keywords to my pictures, some basic keywords. Sometimes I forget, but I usually add at least some basic keywords like the location, time of the year. Let's say I took some pictures here in Helsinki where I live, so I would add Helsinki, autumn, fall, city, at least those words. So later, if I need to find pictures that I took here in Helsinki in the fall time or autumn time of the year, then I can easily find all those pictures. After that, I'll add GPS coordinates, unless my pictures already have those coordinates. In Lightroom, adding those coordinates later is pretty easy. I'll just drag the pictures over the map, over the location where I took the picture. And I like that because then I can also find pictures by the location. I just go to a certain location on the map, and I can right away I can see which pictures I took at that certain location. And then I select my keepers. If I only have like 10 pictures, one round is enough. But if I have more than that, maybe 50 or so pictures, then I make 2 rounds. First I make like a short list. I rate those pictures with 1 star. And then after that, I'm gonna take another look at those 1-star pictures, and I'm gonna use 2 stars for those pictures that I really want to keep. And those keepers I moved to a collection, and I named that collection by the shoot or by the location or by the topic or whatever. And then I can also find my pictures by the shoot, topic or location or whatever. Then I'll choose the picture profile for my pictures. Usually it's Adobe Color or Camera Neutral, but sometimes it can be something else, and Lightroom has a really good camera support, and it's easy to find camera matching profiles in Lightroom, and I recommend you to explore those camera matching profiles because sometimes your picture looks so much better if you just change the picture profile. And then if I have landscape pictures or pictures of buildings, I will correct the horizon line or level the horizon line, and sometimes I also correct the vertical lines in my building pictures, not always, but sometimes, and I do it at this point before I do any more post-processing. Then if I want to use a preset, I'll do it at this point before I do any more post-processing. I don't always use presets, but I have some my own presets that I like, and I recently made this warm summer preset that, as a matter of fact, if you are my channel member, link down below, you can download that preset and some other presets too and use them if you have a Lightroom or Photoshop. Anyway, if I want to use a preset, I'll do it at this point. And now I'm ready to do all the manual post-processing. My processing is not very heavy-handed, and I also have a video about my up here 3+3 raw processing method. Please take a look if you're interested. It's a really simple, beginner-friendly way to process your raw pictures, and that's what I do with most of my pictures. And that includes fine-tuning white balance, contrast, highlights, shadows, and all that. And after that manual post-processing, which usually takes from about 1 minute to 5 minutes for each picture, I go to the effects panel in Lightroom and add some vignetting. Not much, usually something like -10 or so, but I like to add some vignetting because it just makes usually the picture look a little bit better, and it kind of forces the viewer to look at the picture more because the corners are a little bit darker. And after all this, if my picture looks super noisy or maybe lacks a little bit of sharpness, I'll use Topaz apps to get rid of the noise and bump up the sharpness. And I'll put a link for Topaz apps down below, so if you'd like to buy any Topaz apps, please use the link and support my channel at the same time. I like those Topaz apps. I think they do a really good work with the noise and sharpening especially. And now I'm finally ready to export my pictures. And because my pictures these days are usually for my videos, I will export them to JPEGs, and I set the short edge of the picture at 2160 pixels so it matches the 4K resolution of my videos. So there you have it. That is my post-processing workflow. I hope this helps. I hope this was educational, and if it was, please consider buying me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below for that if you don't live in Finland. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.